All right, here we go. Let me pull my notes back up first. In three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to Cast of Strong Style. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and I'm joined by my co host, Anwar Starwin. What's going on, Anwar?
Hello, Don.
How are you,
Hello,
sir?
audience out there that is hearing me now.
Uh, Glad you could join me once again, man. We got a lot to talk about on this week's show. We got to review the 47th anniversary show and the first round of the New Japan Cup.
All right.
All right, so we're going to get right into it as we had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match between Shingo and Bushi. They faced off against Roppongi 3K. Bushi hits a suicide dive. Show German Shingo and Bushi miss show. We get a pumping bomber by Shingo, but Rebellion connects, but Yo makes the save. Bushi goes to the ropes. He misses the MX. Yo tags in, and then the 3K connects, and we have new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions as Show and Yo get their titles back.
It took them about a year to get back to that point because
Mm-hmm.
if they would have lost one more time, I don't know what they could have done at that point. So they were kind of in a situation where they had to win. And literally, it benefits them and also frees up like Shingo to like get prepped and ready, heated up for Best of Super Juniors in a couple months. So it's a win-win situation. Even though I could have would have been fine with seeing the LIG juniors hold that title for a little bit longer, but I get it because you could always put Bushi in situations where it's him, Evil, and Sonata as a trio, like wrestling for the never 6-man title because they're probably are the best 6-man tag team champions as far as in the history of that title. So it works out in a lot of different ways. And with this match, like that flash finish was pretty cool. And everybody shows love to Show, and he is excellent. I love Show. I have expectations for him in the future as like a Power Junior singles, but give credit where credit was due. Yo was the MVP of that match to me. He did a lot, and I think more people need to put some respect on my man Yo's name. So props to him, and I hope he has a really great Best of Super Juniors as well because I want him to get more spotlight as well. I don't want him to have to always be like the 1B to shows 1A.
Well, I'm going to heap some more praise on Show. I need the best of the Super Juniors final to be Shingo versus Show.
Oh hell yeah! Oh
That's
yeah!
all. That's all. They need to be on opposite sides of the bracket so they can meet up in the finals. Because give those two cats.
What happens if Hiromu was in there? I think Hiromu versus Shingo is a better finals.
Mm, but they both Lij. I don't know if they would go that route. I mean, they
In
would,
tournaments, they
but
don't care.
yeah,
In
they would
tournaments,
because
they
of the
don't care.
tournament.
Whoever
Uh,
faces whoever.
well, that's got to be like a semifinal match or something. It's got to be like a high stakes match in that tournament because man,
Yeah, I agree.
boys,
It's a block decider.
yeah, those two
That is,
boys are. Whew.
yeah, that would be a block decider type of match. And I guess you could have Ishimori on the other end in a block decider match. So you can set up a lot of different type of matches too, for real.
It's gonna be fun if everybody stays healthy and they get there, with full strength, man, with the full division intact. It's definitely gonna be a lot of cool matchups.
I definitely liked Best of Super Juniors last year for the fact of it didn't have the bullshit finishes that the G1 did last year. The G1 had awesome like top level matches, but the bullshit with Bullet Club and the Fire Squad, man, that shit was awful.
Yeah, you weren't really a fan of that. You were definitely happy once they got eliminated and weren't a part of the proceedings as far as being threats to go to the finals.
But you were right. I did go back. I was like at the Wizards game
Hmm.
and they were just beating the hell out of the Kings. So I was watching the game, but then I went back and revisited like Ibushi versus Toma Tonga from G1 last year, and I was like, yeah, you were right. That was pretty good. I was like, that was probably Toma's best like singles match I've seen.
Yeah, yeah, they
So
got down.
yeah, I was like, Bushi's the man to pull that out of him. So
Keeping in the junior heavyweight discussion, we had the junior heavyweight title match between Taiji Ishimori and the legend Jushin Thunder Liger. Ishimori hits a huge lariat for a 2 count. Liger gets the crucifix pin, and he almost pins Ishimori. The Luthez press by Liger follows for another 2 count. Ishimori cuts him off, then transitions into the label lock. Liger rolls, but he can't reach the ropes and he has to tap out. And Taiji Ishimori retains the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title.
man, it's crazy that Liger's 54 years old and pulled off that shit, man. It was an awesome match. It was consistent through to the end, and the finish was the proper one. Man, it's like Liger's amazing. Liger's been a star, like a consistent part of my life since I was a child. So that was a great swan song in a way. So yeah,
Yeah,
Ishimori is the man, dude. I mean,
he is.
when he put him in the spots to step up, he fucking delivers great matches, man.
He certainly
So
does.
getting him as part of the division and part of New Japan was a great like move. So props to Mr. Bone Soldier.
Yeah, for
Keep
sure.
keep getting the like division reborn because we need this division to reborn for sure. Lost so much talent.
After the match, Ishimori asks for a challenge. Dragon Lee accepts. And this is more than likely going to be taking place at the G1 Supercard of Honor in Madison Square Garden. So, Anwar, maybe here's one more match you're going to get to see in person.
I was so freaking hyped after learning that. I was like, this is going to be fucking awesome. And then the next day, Bandito got added to it, and I was like, God damn it, can't we just get a singles match? But then, but then I was talked back down, like, okay, this shit's gonna be crazy. So you're getting these three awesome junior heavyweights, and it's like, yeah, that's going to be probably one of the highlights of like the night for sure. I have expectations for that match. Please give them at least 15 to 20 minutes. Please, wrestling guys, give them 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, like the little interaction between Lee and Ishimori after the match and how like Ishimori started speaking in Mexican. It was funny. So yeah, that was an awesome match, man. Like they did the damn thing. So awesome title defense by like Ishimori versus the Goat Liger. But yeah, like once like Lee said that stuff about he ain't representing ROH but representing CMLL, that kind of was like, hmm. And then the next day, okay, that opened up a lane for Bandito to come in. So it wasn't that surprising if you really were paying attention.
Mhm. Next matchup, the Dream Team, Tanahashi and Okada. They tag team along with Goto to go against Naito, Evil, and Sonata. Goto hits his Ichigoroshi on Naito, but Sonata cuts him off with the skull end. Sonata swings him around, but Goto counters out and he cradles him with the win with the Goto clutch.
That caught me by so caught me by surprise because of anybody in this match, you would have thought it would have been Goto to eat the pinfall, not no fucking Sonata. But once they did that, it's like, okay, what's going on here? So it was a good like it was a good 6 man. So and it also put some heat on like Goto going into the tournament. So that was pretty dope.
In our main event of the anniversary show, it was the IWGP champion versus the never open weight champion in a non title match as Jay White faced off against Will Osprey. Jay White looks for the Blade Runner, but it's countered, and Osprey hits a sit out power bomb for a near fall. Osprey goes up top, and the imploding 450 connects for a 2 count as Jay White makes the ropes. Osprey looks for the Stormbreaker, but it's countered. Osprey lands a series of kicks. Jay White counters an Oscutter into the Blade Runner. Then he gives Will Osprey another Blade Runner, and Jay White is victorious.
So now Jay and Will are 1-1. Like it just Jay really showed up his intelligence with the match with his counters and just adjusting the situations that Will put him in that were not necessarily always beneficial for him. This match was just like a coming of age, or like this is a guy to watch in the form of Osprey, because Osprey really really fucking shined in this match. So yeah, people got complaints about his theatrical like selling or whatnot, but I mean this is he does that from sometimes because I believe he had like a theater background growing up, so it's not that surprising he would put that type of emphasis within this match. I mean, but yeah, Osprey's awesome, and what they did for him at the end, even after the loss, with the film following them going to like the back, that was interesting as well. Like, so man, these two young dudes are gonna like these. This is the future of the company right here, along with the young lions. So yeah. Yeah, this was awesome. I have to rewatch like the ROH match because I still think I like that match one match that match more, but I don't know. Like, so yeah, this is an awesome main event. I got no complaints about it.
How did you feel Jay White came across main event champion, even though this wasn't a quote unquote title defense, but he was the main event. He is carrying the big belt. Do you feel like he put on a champion quality performance?
Um, yeah, he did a really good job. Like, I think I think getting compared to some of the greatest wrestlers ever all time who are in their prime or even past their prime, it's kind of a tough thing for a guy who's just kind of starting his career. So what he is right now, we have no idea what he'll be in a year or 2 years. So I get some of the frustration people who've been spoiled with like these great wrestlers putting on these classic type of matchups, but he's doing a really good job. He's not out there stinking it up. It's just he's not the typical like New Japan main event like wrestler right now. So I mean, people got to adjust. I guess I don't know. I mean, honestly, I do think some of this is that like I think some of this blowback is that it's some of these fans are like kind of frustrated with Kenny not being there, and you comparing a guy to Kenny Omega, who's one of the great. Regardless of how you feel about Omega outside of the ring, inside the ring, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, and one of the best like foreigners to come to Japan ever. So that's kind of hard to come after a guy like that. So also keep in mind, like I said, Kenny's like a decade older than like Jay, so that's a really hard comparison. So I would like people to maybe just chill out on that if they're like unintentionally doing that. But I get it, but still, let Jay grow and be what he can be eventually.
All right. So that was the anniversary show. A lot of fun. Juice and
But did
Thunder
you
like
peep it
it.
like did you
Oh.
peep like how all the people at the end of the match came out and
Mm-hmm.
they were like everybody pointing to themselves like this is me. I'm gonna be me, and it's gonna be me that win New Japan Cup.
Mm-hmm. You're
It was
right.
pretty cool. It was pretty freaking cool. And then eventually one of like young lady I follow like on Twitter, I think it's Aram, and she's like, "Oh wow, they look like the Avengers." And I guess and then Tana like saw it, and then he was like, he took like the picture of all of them staring at Jay White. Tana was like, "I'm Tony Stark," and I was like, and then somebody said Bushi is fucking Scarlet Witch.
Oh wow. Yeah, this was a really good show. I enjoyed it. Even the undercard was really good. I know we didn't talk about it, but
Hmm.
yeah, it was a well done card to me. I really liked the main event. Jay White to me, it's not easy being a champion for the first time. So every match that he has in this role, I expect him to get better and better. And Will Ospreay is going to have a really big 2019.
Yup.
So
Just please don't do crazy stuff and hurt yourself, Will.
right, right. That's going to go for somebody else here later on when we get to these
Oh,
reviews. But
uh
before we
oh.
get into the reviews, just remind everybody that this is Caster Strong Style. You can find Caster Strong Style on the web at www.cspn.us. We can also be found on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and also YouTube. So we're going to talk about the New Japan Cup, the first round. So we're going to start with the very first day. We're going to have 4 matches on each day to cover. So we're going to try to run through these at a kind of swift pace. Yoshihashi, he faces off against Nakanishi. Yoshihashi lands a running knee strike. It gets a 2 count. He puts Nakanishi into the butterfly lock, and Nakanishi has to tap. So no surprise there. Yoshihashi taking care of business, getting into the next round.
Nakanishi went out all out in that match, man. He had
Oh
me
yeah,
scared. He had me scared of some that spot to the outside. I was like, oh no.
he was doing high flying moves and
I
moves on
was
the
scared for
outside.
him. I was like, no, don't hurt yourself.
If he's gonna do it, being one last New Japan Cup, he definitely let it all hang out.
He definitely did. And I was like, at the end of the match, yeah, Yoshihashi won, but were you really the better person in that match? I don't know.
My man, Taichi, he faced off against Hamna. Hamna counters the Axe Bomber into a cradle for a 2 count. We get a Dragon Sleeper by Taichi, but Hamna makes the ropes. Taichi hits the backdrop driver and he covers for a 2 count. Then Taichi puts on the Dragon Sleeper and Hamna has to tap out because we don't want to do more damage to his neck.
Hama did look better in this match, but it's like I wasn't feeling Taichi in it, so it kind of was like, kind of felt like one of those matches where it's like Taichi is only going to be as good as he wants to be, and this wasn't the night where he's going to be good. So, wasn't for me.
Our next match on the first night of the New Japan Cup, Juice Robinson, he faced off against Chase Owens. Juice lays in chops, but Owens rolls him up with the ropes, but the ref sees it. Owens argues with the ref, and he cradles Juice with the ropes again. The ref breaks it up, and Juice goes for Pulp Fiction, but it's countered. Owens hits the Jewel Heist for a 2 count. Owens follows with the Package Power Driver, and Chase Owens gets the upset victory over Juice Robinson.
Yeah, that shocked the hell out of me.
That makes 2 of
But
us.
that shocked the hell out of me. That messed up my brackets for like the tournament. Like literally, I had Juice going far in the tournament. So but they've been showing lately that they're going to put more emphasis in building up Chase. So actually, this is good for Chase's career. And now that puts him in the line to get a U.S. championship shot. Maybe it's probably be at one of these road shows in New Japan, or maybe it'll be at a pay per view in the spring or summer. So I mean, good for Chase and hey man, Juice, you still the U.S. champion, but yeah, that's tough break. The match was really good though.
In our main event of night 1 of the New Japan Cup, Yuji Nagata, he faced off against Ishii. Not Nagata drops the knee pad, but runs into a lariat. Nagata kicks out at 1. We get an enziguri by Ishii, followed by a sliding D, and that gets a 2 count. The high angle brainbuster follows, and Ishii gets the pin on Yuji Nagata.
Man, this was an awesome way to open like a main event open like for the cup. Like, I knew they wouldn't disappoint. I've been waiting for this match since like New Year's Dash. So yeah, man, they killed it. It was awesome. The God is a badass motherfucker for a 50-year-old. And Ishii, I'm gonna just enjoy how much longer he can go because the way he go, I don't know. He's 43, so we'll see. But another awesome match between them two, and yep, not surprising the least because they're great wrestlers.
I had a 12-year-old kid enamored by this match.
What?
Yeah, he was waiting to play his play PS4, but I had hijacked the TV before he could get to it. So so he came in the near the end of the Juice Robinson Chase Owens match. And I was like, well, I got one more match to go. Let me watch this one. And he was captivated. Like, oh wow.
Wow, that's what's up.
Yeah. So I did my
Probably gonna
due
probably gonna be
diligence for
look
the youth.
probably gonna be looking up matches for them two guys at some point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna move on to day two as we have Toa Hanare. He faced off against Lance Archer. You get a pounce by Lance Archer, and the Uranagi gets a 2 count. The chokeslam connects, but Hanare kicks out. They trade strikes, and we get a headbutt by Hanare, but Lance Archer kills him with the lariat. Lance Archer goes for blackout. He's successful, and Hanare gets pinned, and Lance Archer moves on to the next round.
I was really hoping that Hanari would pull it out, but I mean, I get it because KS don't really be around that much, and it would mean more to put more juice in them. So good for Aunt Lance getting a win.
All right. Yeah, Lance Archer can't throw his water anymore, so the crowd's not as afraid of him as they usually are. But he wrestled pretty good. It's my first time seeing him wrestle in quite a while, so he was fresh to my eyes. So I enjoyed that match.
I would like to see him in Harry versus like Evil and Sonata again because they had a really awesome match at the like Dome I think a couple years ago.
Yep, sure did. The newest member of Chaos, Mikey Nichols, faced off against Heleku, the little big brother of the Bullet Club. They trade strikes. Mikey Nichols connects with a Death Valley driver and a sliding clothesline for a 2 count. The Blue Thunder Bomb finishes off Hilaleku, and Mikey Nichols advances to the next round.
Yeah,
Um,
I honestly thought Hilaleo was gonna actually win because he's like more of a fixture in New Japan, but I guess it makes sense you're introducing a new person, technically new to the company, so I get why he lost. So I mean, Chaos got little hot streak going right now, so yeah.
our next match, we have Bad Luck Fale versus Will Osprey. Will Osprey hits the Robinson special, but the Oscutter is blocked. We get a spear by Fale and the grenade, but Osprey kicks out. Osprey counters the bad luck fall into a Hurricane Rana into a cradle, and Will Osprey gets a flash victory over Bad Luck Fale.
Man, like Fale really brings it against some of the like the chaos guys always get like the top end chaos people usually draw the best matches out of Fale. And now Osprey is in that company in my opinion because I really it's like it was just the final stretch was pretty dope. So Osprey like beating these heavyweights, man. Beating these heavyweights, but yet still being called a junior heavyweight. What the fuck? Whatever.
Blowing up in the world, man. He's taking the never open championship to places it's never been.
For me, I think they doing that stuff because they might sneak him in Best of Super Juniors. I don't know, man. We'll see. We keep calling him a junior, so we
he's
gonna
re-
see what they trying to be slick. I don't know.
yeah,
We'll see.
he's one of those transitional players. He can go, either direction they need him to.
He's like Hayabusa was back in the day, who go from being a junior heavyweight or heavyweight, and Kota Ibushi, because he would be junior heavyweight, but being like heavyweight tournaments and stuff. So he's in that spot right now that other people have been. I think Shingo was probably also in that class because I think I remember Shingo even referring to himself as an open weight. So he's like, I will wrestle juniors or heavyweights. I mean, I believe he wrestled like Shingo wrestled like a couple months ago, Shota, and that was a pretty good match. So yeah,
Our main event for night two, we have Okada versus Michael Elgin. Elgin counters a Rainmaker into a powerbomb for a great near fall. We had a crossface by Elgin, but Okada rolls and he makes it to the ropes. Elgin hits the buckle bomb, but Okada counters back out and they trade counters. We get a back fist by Elgin and Okada is down. Okada counters a second back fist and hits a tombstone. That gets followed up by the Rainmaker, and Okada pins Michael Elgin and moves on to the next round.
can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
When whenever every have you ever when they did the ring when he does the Rainmaker pose, have you ever stretched your arms out?
I do it all the time.
Because it's just fun, man. It's
That's
like that's one of the fun things the wrestlers he does is just like
right.
you do that. It's also kind of like when evil be doing like everything is evil, and then you just
Right.
kind of just help yourself just say it too, because like
I, I, I,
I'm going to be real with you. If I'm in that crowd and he does that shit, I'm going to say it loud
my
in
my
unison.
my favorite time to see the Rainmaker pose is after he's been battling, and then out of nowhere he hits the $1 million drop kick and he gets up and he does it. Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh man, yeah, his drop kick is amazing. But as far as the quality of this match, we all feel a certain type of way about Elgin as a human being,
Yeah,
and that's one thing. But we can put that temporarily to the side for this discussion. Every time we see Elgin versus Okada, it is usually a great match. I've watched them wrestle over the last like 3 years, and they every match has been great to me to varying degrees. So you know what you're going to get out of this matchup. This was just another example of that. And the fact that Elgin was out for that amount of time and to come back and put out that level of quality of match, bruh, got to use him a little bit more. So yeah, man, Elgin Okada was an awesome match, and it's been like out of the first 5 nights I've watched like New Japan Cup is one of the best match of like the first 5 days, no doubt about
oh yeah, for sure. That was a great match. About 15 minutes in, you could see like, oh man, Michael Elgin's really going for it this time because he's never beaten Okada before. And so he had a whole bunch of counters for most of Okada's offense.
He
So
broke
Okada.
out the crossface in this match where he didn't really have that
Mm-hmm.
like attack in the previous 2 matches. Like he's like, okay, we're gonna do something different, and I'm gonna attack your arm and weaken it, and use the submission to put you out of commission. I was like, that's really smart.
Yeah, very good tactics in this match. And Okada, he's got the trunks back on. He's back into Rainmaker mode, and still showing improvement. He's one of the best in the world.
Yep.
Day three, we have Tenzan going against Taguchi. We get an ankle lock by Taguchi. Tenzan fights, but Taguchi hangs on. Tenzan powers up again. He rolls and he finally escapes. Taguchi hits the drop kick. The Boombaye is cut off with a spin kick for a 2 count from Tenzan. Tenzan follows with the top rope headbutt, and that gets another 2 count. Taguchi counters into a cradle, and then he picks up the win. So he kind of got a flash victory on Tenzan as well. Just a quick roll up. Tenzan showed good for this match. I wasn't mad with his efforts.
Like I was like Tenzan versus Taguchi. I was like, I don't know about this match. But then I started watching, and I was like, yeah, I fuck with this match. So it really surprised me with his quality in the fact another junior beating a heavyweight That shocked me too. I was like, okay, what's going on now? Are y'all kind of like de-emphasizing that difference or something, or you're just doing it for this situation? But technically, like honestly, Taguchi could be heavyweight. He just didn't want to be no heavyweight. He just chose to be a junior, and he has decided to be a heavyweight. So actually, it actually kind of makes sense that he would be able to beat Tenzon. But yeah, this match was cool, and the pleasantries after the match was really nice too.
Next up, the ace, Tanahashi. He faced off against Shota Amino. Amino locks on Tanahashi's cloverleaf, but Tanahashi makes the ropes. Amino unloads with the vicious strikes, but Tanahashi cuts him off with a twist and shout. The cloverleaf is countered into a cradle by Amino for a 2 count, and the crowd is going crazy. But then Tanahashi slaps on the cloverleaf, and Shota Amino eventually taps out, and the ace is successful and moves on to the next round.
The dynamics within this match is really crazy. You got like the standard bearer of New Japan versus one of the new talents that people have high expectations for. Also, in the match where his fucking father was refereeing the match, that was kind of weird right there. That part was weird, but it was kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if Yumino is like Shota's pushing Tanahashi like this with with the limitations like young lions have, because they can't do certain moves. So like the near fall that like Shota got on him was like it caused me to go like whoa, just like it caused me to have serious pause. I'm like, oh, he can actually win this match. But yeah, man, this match was dope. This was one of my favorite matches of like the opening round. And some point we're gonna see them run this back. I would not be against them as a tag team either, as like as Tanahashi like deaccelerates from main event situations.
What I liked about this match was this was the biggest match that Shota Aminu has ever had in his life, but you couldn't tell. He didn't appear nervous. He brought the fight to Tanahashi right from the opening bell. He didn't clean. He didn't break clean on the break. He lit Tanahashi up. Then Tanahashi, backs him into the ropes, and when Tanahashi is, going to give him a clean break, Aminu fired off on him and got to jump on him. He was just really aggressive, and he put up a hell of an effort, man. So I really enjoyed this match too. I thought it was a great story that they told, and it really did a lot to help a young lion get some experience and gain a lot of fanfare and attention.
If you like some of the young lions, I advise other viewers to go back and go through like New Japan World and look for the Lionsgate like shows because that's where spotlights to like the young lions and whatnot. It was like one like match where it was I think it was Yoshida versus Shota Umino, and I think it was one where like Yoshida versus Nagata, and it was another match where Yumino for Daisuke Sakamoto, and Sakamoto's one of the best wrestlers in like Japan. So yeah, you gotta go beyond just like the like road shows and the big pay per views. Because even as a person, me, I watch a lot of that stuff. It's still stuff that I haven't seen, and like honestly, if you really want to go back, you could go back and look for you could go back and look for Shibata versus Riddle, I believe, from like 2017, like early part of the year, because that's like I think that was from Rev Pro, so you could be able to watch that. They got a lot of stuff over there that a lot of people haven't watched. They even had like the recent show with like All Japan and whatnot. So go out and seek those matches out, and you could just get more good stuff content.
Next match on the card, Zack Sabre Jr. He faces off against Evil. Evil lands a clothesline and he takes Sabre up top and he hits a big superplex. That gets a 2 count. Zack Sabre Jr. counters everything as Evil and they work into more counters. And Evil hits a rolling lariat and he gets a 2 count of his own. They work into another series of counters. Zack Sabre Jr. locks on a grounded octopus stretch, and Evil has to tap out, and Zack Sabre Jr. is going on to the next round.
Yep, another good chapter between both wrestlers, and this puts Zach back in the pole position in their overall like feud because it's like, yeah, you got the one up on me recently, even, but I still got your number, punk. So the final sequence was great, man. Like all the counters and how Zach just caught him at the end, and Evil was right in the place in the ring. He couldn't do anything about it. Had to tap. Ain't no shame in tapping Evil.
When you look at Evil, if you've never seen him wrestle before, you never would think that he had the command of the chain wrestling and counter wrestling that he does, intricate enough to stay in a match with Zack Sabre Jr. when he starts going into that stuff. But man, he was right there step for step with him in this match. Like you said, they have awesome matches together when they do wrestle each other. I can't think of a bad one, and this is just another one to add to that story. So good stuff.
One day they are gonna be wrestling for some type of like singles title, and it's gonna be ridiculous. Like it definitely could be a future where like Zach or Evil is like never or like Intercontinental Champion, and they're wrestling for it. Definitely could see that someday.
Our main event from night three, which was by far the most loaded card top to bottom, the Golden Star Kota Ibushi faced off against Naito. We get a last ride by Ibushi, and then it gets a great near fall. Naito counters the Kamagoye into a Destino for a great near fall of his own. Ibushi counters Destino with a high kick, and the crowd is going crazy. The Boombaye follows for a 2 count. Ibushi hits the driller, the Kamagoye, and Naito is done as Ibushi gets the pin and he moves on to the next round.
This was a bit more darker as far as like how they went after each other.
Mm.
It 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 was great, another great match. They don't have nothing but great matches versus each other for the last couple years. Just great matches. So these guys are friends too, so I'm not surprised they're gonna have this level of quality match. So in the post match and how they had the camera splats like like spotlighting on the IC championship, that what you say is foreshadowing, buddy. So it might not happen at MSG. It might happen sometime during the spring, but that title match is gonna happen at some point. They wouldn't have did that for no damn reason. So that
I,
was the best. That was the best match of the open round for me. So
I
yep.
want to see Kota Ibushi fulfill his 2-year contract that he signed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna need him to take a little less of these crazy bumps on his neck. Uh,
Man,
those
yeah,
two like rude awakenings, and then a tombstone on the apron. Yikes!
yeah, he does that shit, and I was like, why you do this, Bush? You don't got to do this, but that's what he does. Mm.
Man, that tombstone on the apron was like, whoa. It was
Hmm.
like a thud. I actually rewound it. Was like, I don't think I just saw that.
Then it's funny you say that. Then a couple of like hours later, um, Mustafa Ali does that particular move, that
Right.
move on the apron on. I forgot who it was. It was might have
Daniel
been
Bryan,
did that like serious
450.
like that
Yeah.
450 on the like apron. I was like, ah, love the creativity though.
So our final night of the first round, we see Yano face off against Davy Boy Smith Jr. Davy Boy Smith Jr. hits a reverse DDT for a 2 count. Yano, then gets in a series of cradles for a 2 count. Yano then rolls Davy Boy Smith Jr. up for the win.
God damn Yano. He's always screwing over some of those Suzuki Gun wrestlers with some sneak shit. Sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky style was in full effect. Yano torments Davey Boy Smith Jr. He can never quite beat him up the way he wants to. He always seems to somehow slip out. And this was another case.
Sure. Wow.
So Makabe, he faces off against Colt Cabana. Makabe looks for the Spider German, but Cabana fights him off, and Cabana misses a moonsault, and Makabe hits a lariat and gets a 2 count. The Death Valley driver follows, and Makabe misses the King Kong knee drop, and that allows Colt Cabana to get the win with the Superman pin, and Colt Cabana is moving on.
It was a good match, and that pin, boy, I was like just turning around for a second, and I saw it. I was like, what? He won. It's like y'all doing these flash pins to keep people on their toes, which is good. And it's like, and I got why Makabe lost because Makabe is the most like popular person in that company in Japan, so he has other things to do and other responsibilities. So maybe it was just him like getting out of the tournament early so he could do those or help handle those responsibilities because he does a lot. I give him props because a lot of people would just like, you know what, I ain't doing this no more. I'm gonna just get this bread. But he supports both, so props to Makabe. Uncanny Gorilla.
The King, Minoru Suzuki, he faced off against Kojima. Suzuki blocks the lariat, and Kojima counters the gotch and follows with a lariat of his own. Kojima hits another lariat, and that gets a near fall. Suzuki then counters another lariat. He applies the sleeper hold. We get the gotch pile driver, and Kojima is pinned, and Minoru Suzuki will be moving on.
It was a good match. It was the right decision, and I mean, it was a good match, and I have no issues with like the end result.
I like how Rocky Romero was given the backstory of both of these guys and their rivalry and how long it's lasted and through the different promotions that they've encountered each other in. He gave a really good backstory to the match, and I thought that lended a lot on the
Mm,
American commentary.
okay.
Our final match of the first round, we see Sonata facing off against Goto. Goto lays in kicks, but Sonata counters the GTR and hits the anarchist suplex. You get a headbutt by Goto, and they work into a series of counters, and Sonata finally locks on the skull end. Sonata, he drops down, he then releases the skull end, he hits the ropes, and he connects with the moonsault, and Sonata gets the win over Goto.
You honestly didn't believe that all of Lij was going to go 0-3 in the goddamn New Japan Cup. Now, like once Goto got that pinfall versus Sonata, that should have been a giant red herring for most people. It was for me. I can tell you that for a fact, sir. So I was like, how are we gonna get to the point where Sonata beat Goto? And damn, he got Goto. Mr. New Japan Cup went out the first round. Shit. I mean, this match itself, it started off really fucking slow and it turned off a lot of people, but it found its way like at the end. So it's like you can't really bury it as being a shitty match, but it it was a good. I liked it, but it definitely brought back in the picture like discussion of how do we feel about Sonata and
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, how did you think his effort was in this match? Did he bring it? Was he loafing? Was he coasting?
one of my good friends at Wolf Rattle pretty much just said it that what some of us were thinking all along. We just got to accept for Sonata for what he is. He's a lazy motherfucker. I mean, he's complacent. Like he has great matches every once in a while, and he's not going to give you what you expect out of him. And he's one of my favorite wrestlers in that company. He has a lot of potential, but he don't bring it on a consistent basis. And for people, that's going to be frustrating for people who see him have great single matches every once in a while versus Tana versus Okada and whatnot. And then he puts out this even Ibushi and G1 last year. I like that match. Some people didn't, but It's like he's a frustrating wrestler. And then you start hearing thinking about those rumors, and you be like, you know what? He definitely probably would take more money to do less. So I don't know. Like I like Sonata. I hope he gets there someday. But he kind of feeling like for me, like how some of us felt about like Carlito. Carlito got this talent, but he bullshits. That's basically what Sonata doing. Sonata be bullshitting, bro. I got love for him. That's my man, but he bullshit.
So we'll talk about the second round matchups. We'll give you a preview of what's to come in the second round. As Taichi, he's going to be facing off against Ishii. We have Yoshihashi going up against Chase Owens. Lance Archer will be facing Will Ospreay. Mikey Nichols will go up against Okada. Taguchi is going to face Tanahashi. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to face Kota Ibushi. Yano is going to face off against Colt Cabana. And Minoru Suzuki will face Sonata.
So where you want to start?
Match that jumps off to me first, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi.
I mean, they
Hmm,
had two awesome matches last year. I expect nothing less this year. So,
right. I,
and with Zach being Mr. New Japan Cup right now, not having ever lost, we're gonna have to see.
yeah, we are.
There's a lot of intrigue about that match.
Now, I think it's safe to say that we can kind of ink in Okada and Tanahashi into the next round.
Oh,
Um,
of course. Come on now. Come
so
on now. Yeah, of course.
So my man Taichi going up against Ishii. What do you think about this one? How do you think this was going to play out?
Do we reveal behind the curtain? Do the Wizard of Oz thing right here?
Oh, that's right, because this match happened today as we
I'm
record.
not going to give away the result,
But go ahead,
but
do
I'm
it.
basically tell you, in my opinion, this is one of the best matches Taichi has ever had as a singles wrestler,
Oh
like
wow,
that I've seen.
can't wait to watch it myself.
This is definitely one of his best like matches of his heavyweight run for sure. So very high on that match. Like
Okay,
go yes, like maybe shut once you busy finish doing what you're doing for the night. Just fire up New Japan World and just have fun with that because yeah, that was really good, man.
all right.
And
Uh, how about the quality of Yoshihashi and Chase Owens?
you know what? That match was pretty good too, brother. So
All
they
right,
gave us two pretty good, like strong matches, like for night five.
all right, all right.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like you could watch those matches. Yeah. But
So,
like, and think about how I was kind of cold on Yoshihashi and Tai Chi from their first round. Nah, I don't feel like that after this.
all right, nice. And then this is kind of a wild card. Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay. Don't think that young Will would have a chance, but he seemed to be flourishing against these giants since he's been the never open weight champion.
This one, they might pull some slick shit on us and have Will lose, and then make that like a title defense. I don't know. They might do some. They don't want us to like be totally in the know, but it definitely has symbolism when Will was one of the people in that ring, like going back and like one of those last people. It was symbolism having all those people in the ring at the end of the anniversary show, and Will was one of them. So I feel Will got to keep going until it's him versus Okada, and then after that point, Will goes out.
Okay. Comedy match supreme Yano versus Colt Cabana.
Man, this shit gonna be fire. If you love comedy like wrestling and foolishness, this gonna bring this. I wonder if this is gonna top like the Omega and Yano matches of the last couple of years. We gonna see. We gonna find out. This is gonna be interesting. But yeah, that's one that's gonna probably have me laughing.
And then Minoru Suzuki and Sonata.
They have had pretty good matches in the past. They recently had a good match. So I expect this to be another good match, and if they're going to do something with Sonata, he needs to win versus Suzuki. I'm just saying.
Well, hopefully Suzuki can pull out the effort from Sonata that's in there, but doesn't always come to the surface.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we will. We will. So that is the review of the New Japan Cup and the 47th anniversary show. The New Japan Cup will conclude on March 24th, where there will be the finals. And then the winner will go on to face Jay White, Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania weekend, where our own Anwar Starwin will be in the building. So,
Yep, I'm going to be there, and our future correspondent is going to be at the Dallas show. So we're going to be representing in both big shows.
right, right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that later on this summer when
Mm-hmm.
the G1 starts out in Dallas. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have special guest on for that to get that
Yep.
live perspective on how that show went off. But until then, and in the meantime, Anwar Starwin, give me your shout outs and thank you, sir, for this episode of Cast a Strong Style.
I want to give a shout out to Madame Lizette. I want to give a shout out to Dewan on What Sleep Though. I want to give a shout out to Jupiter Julep because she always gives shout outs. And shout out to you for always including me. We having fun on this New Japan podcast. And props to everyone who takes the time to listen and give us feedback. You're appreciated.
I'd like to give a shout out as well to the ladies of the Forever Young cast. Those lovely ladies made it so fun during the May Young Classic. Hopefully, they do that again this year, and I can get back up with them to talk some wrestling. I think we're gonna have something.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have something special for after WrestleMania, so be on the lookout for that.
Woo! I'm ready for that.
Also, subscribe to the CSPN Patreon page over on patreon.com/CSPN Media. Check out the Dark Match. You can hear me and Anwar talk about other types of wrestling or get in depth on some things that we don't cover here on the Cast of Strong Style, as well as you get to hear pre and post show conversations from the WrestleCast, my co-host over there, Didi Jonet, Mr. Magnum Prime. So please, again, become a patron, support the CSPN, become a Backstage Pass member, and you'll get to listen to our exclusive content only on patreon.com/CSPN Media. Um, like to give a shout out to Anwar joining me once again. Give a shout out to all the listeners of Cast a Strong Style and the WrestleCast. Everybody who uses the hashtag Cast a Strong Style when they're watching the matches on New Japan World. We greatly appreciate the interaction and keep tweeting and interacting with us. We definitely have fun and we enjoy everybody's commentary with color. And so, with that being said, for my co host, Anwar Starwin, I'm Don Delarente, and this has been Cast of Strong Style. Thank you, kind sir.
No problem.
And I will